just the energy of a panel. Even just if I see a holo or a tag on a train, I'm like, yeah, fucking yeah.
Yeah.
Twilight Zone crew. I remember it just being like, whoa, what? Twilight Zone crew, mind blown. Right, now take my clothes off.
Oh, shit. Almost saw your nipple there for a second.
Flash.
All right. You like my mask, mate?
Yes, it's really hard to tell who you are.
Complete opposite to what you are. You got the gangster balaclava on. I got a fucking gay cat mask.
Surprised this bit of my face isn't pixelated and my voice is showing right. Look, yeah, bro, I've killed like 6 dudes in the last week, bro.
You do look pretty gangster.
Yeah.
All right. So, funnily enough, the podcast is called the Aussie Battler Podcast, and I've got a pommy on. So, fuck, that's pretty interesting.
Commonwealth.
Mate, I'll claim you. We
Yeah.
will claim you. We will claim you.
Well, I've lived here for 10 years now, and I'm an Australian citizen. So.
Oh, you are a citizen. All right.
Yeah. Just.
You are an Aussie battler then.
I am a battler. Look. There you go. Look at that.
Oh shit.
Got a nice fake passport. Nah, it's real.
Yeah. Wow.
And I'm married to an Australian, and I own a house. So, because that's what people say. They're like, "Oh, would you want to move back to England?" And I'm like, "Bought a house here, married an Aussie, got an Aussie passport. There is no way on earth I'm moving back to England." And in England at the moment, it seems if you post something on social media, the government doesn't agree with you, get arrested.
Oh, true. I've seen that shit.
Which is actually happening.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, I digress. Enough about my shitty homeland.
Anyway,
let's focus on Australia.
I'm drinking some Heinekens. I know you're off.
Nah, this really strong.
What are you on, mate? What's that?
Water.
Oh, okay. I was sort of some kind of milk fucking.
Some weird
you've seen online, and you're like, oh, it gives you mad health benefits and shit.
Yeah. It's this really like amazing substance that you drink, and it like changes how your brain works. You're just talking about alcohol. Yeah. I've heard it's a really good nootropic now.
It's vodka.
What?
No, but you've been off the piss for a while, eh?
On off. About 20 years. Obviously not
me, mate. I know you.
Yeah. I think the reason why I'm doing it mostly at the moment is I've got a wedding in England in a few weeks, and I don't want to look bloated and obese. Yeah, so I'm trying to like do my classic thing that I do when I go back to England, where I just don't eat any carbs and don't drink for like a month.
Yeah, you look fantastic when you go there. When you come back, you're a fat guy.
Well, you can see from my face now how good I look, so you know it's obviously working.
Yeah, you do.
And I take this off, and it's just a skeleton's face.
I just forgot that I haven't even introduced you yet.
No.
So, can I introduce you as the podcast master?
Yeah. That's why I just put myself in as big boy.
So I'll just say the Toydivision podcaster.
I've given myself the nom-de-plume of Mr. TD, but it sounds weird. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, like and subscribe, Mr. TD on Spotify. Little shameless plug.
Well, you know what? I don't.
We won't get any traction anyway, but whatever.
Well, you know that's how. This is what's known as cross exposure. It's a really good thing to do, because then what hopefully you'll do is you'll give me this audio, then I'll turn it into an episode. And at the moment, I'm pretty lucky. I've got like 1,400 subscribers on Spotify, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's mad.
And up to episode 120 as of yesterday. So, you know, but that's been definitely a slog. But anyway, enough about me self-promoting. Ask me some really deep and intense questions that will...
All right. Well, so the Aussie Battler podcast is about everyone in Australia is an Aussie battler. So I just wanted to get a few people that I know on the pod and talk about where they grew up and how their journey began into riding, and if any businesses came about from being a rider, or you just turned into a junkie. Either way, whatever, it's fine. But
done both, yeah.
Let's just we're all junkies at heart. That's why we're riders, right?
Doing both, yeah.
Yeah. So we've all been there, mate. But
Could be the first. It could be the first. I don't think I've ever seen anyone on a podcast shooting up. So,
Yeah, well, I might get there soon. We'll see, mate. We'll see. I'll get someone on. But anyway, let's just start off from the beginning, eh? Like, where'd
yeah,
you grow up? Obviously, you're if you can't tell by the language that you're speaking, you're obviously from the UK somewhere.
yeah, the other the other language that I'm speaking here.
You barely
I,
understand.
well, it's funny talking just on that subject. My lovely Aussie wife, who grew up in Padstow in Sydney,
Ah, yeah,
often if we're watching UK programs, she has to put the subtitles on. So
of course. I think most chicks put subtitles on everything, don't they? Movies, TV shows, even if they're speaking English.
oh, all right. All right,
Oh,
I'll
mine
leave
does.
her alone. I'll stop abusing her about that then.
Yeah.
So I grew up. I mean, I was born in Germany, in uh, West Germany during the Cold War. So I was born on a British Army base in somewhere called Rinteln in West Germany on a British Army base. My dad was in the British Army, and I was born in a military hospital when my parents were super young. So my mum was 19 when I was born, and my dad was 18. So they were basically kids themselves. And I
Wow.
lived on a British Army base accommodation sort of thing for the first 4 years of my life. Um, and then moved back to England when I was 4. And then my dad joined the police force, and I lived in police housing right next to the local police station until I was 7, 8 years old.
Wow.
Um, and then that was actually the first time I ever got arrested. That's where I ended up in the cell. So, hey ho.
Back to
And
the beginning.
yeah, and loads of the coppers were
Back
like,
to where you were born.
oh, they say my actual name. And I was like, yeah. And they're like, I remember you used to come here. And because my dad actually trained a lot of them when they were like just joining the police. So, yeah,
Wow.
it was, that was a difficult one.
Do
So,
you do
yeah.
you do you do you remember any of those times, like, when you were really young? Like, I know most people don't have
Uh,
a memory from when they're I think it's after the age of 5 people start remembering stuff.
I
Do
think
you have
I
any memory of it?
probably, I think I did, but I think most of them were just like, because memory is such a terrible thing. And,
Mm,
we think that memory is like a camera, but it's more like memory is actually more like, so the analogy is, and this comes from the neuroscience of memory, is that every time you recall a memory, it's like taking a file of papers out of like a filing cabinet and then moving all the pages around and changing the order and then putting it back in. So
mm,
over time, your memory actually diversifies and changes over time. And that's why witness testimonies are so bad,
yeah,
especially when it comes to in the justice system. But I can't really remember much. I think a lot of what I think I was remembering when I was younger was probably just I'd seen photos. You see a
mm,
photo, and then, but I do remember staying indoors for quite a long time because we were in West Germany when the Chernobyl thing happened. Everyone had to stay indoors for like 3 or 4 weeks, but I can't really recall much. And that was like 40 years ago now. I can't really remember last week, let alone the,
yeah,
the early 80s.
yeah, that's what I sat down, had a couple beers, and I was, like, trying to remember my first memory, like, ever.
Yeah.
It's pretty much impossible, eh? Like, you would
Oh,
just remember,
actually,
like, you remember, like, one oh, yeah.
I can probably remember my dad coming back because my dad was in the military. He came back from somewhere where he was on military exercise stuff. And they do these big trial wars, basically. And he came back with a Transformers toy set that was all the Transformers that joined together.
Mm.
And I remember
Yeah,
being
Transformer,
hyped
yeah,
about
that's
that.
what they do, don't
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, just that's probably what I can remember the most, I think. And then
they? Yeah,
probably
right.
getting Nintendo products as a kid for
Oh, everyone remembers Nintendo, fuck.
getting the Game Boy, getting the SNES, etc. But yeah,
Yeah,
the whole thing about living with a police officer and my stepmom, who came into my life when I was like 11, she was a copper as well. So
ah, okay. What, so your parents split up or something
yeah, so
early
my
on?
parents divorced when I was 11,
Yeah, wow.
separated, and then they remarried. So I was like, I'm 100% original. There is no genetic combination the same as me,
Yeah, true.
which
And
says a
do
lot.
you remember them splitting up, or you just remember your
Yeah, yeah,
stepmom's
yeah.
going?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Yeah, it was not a nice, breakup. I do
Yeah,
remember
right.
my mum out on the front step of the house on the street with a knife slicing up my dad's shirts and screaming. I remember,
Yeah, well,
yeah,
that's
it
pretty brutal.
wasn't a good experience, to be honest,
Yeah, right. Yeah,
especially
yeah.
for an 11-year-old in 1994. There wasn't so much of a like, hey, maybe you should go to like counseling or something, or go and see a therapist.
Yeah, that was
I just went really mental, and they just said I was a bad kid. So that set the precedent for the next 10,
mm,
15 years, I think.
so it definitely had an impact on your life that
Well,
young, 'cause
yeah, I mean, at 11, how can you understand you're like your dad basically leaving your mum for another person, and then
yeah,
them splitting up, and then them remarrying, and then them having, both my parents had new kids, so they had babies, and I was just, they couldn't really understand why is my name being like badly behaved or not wanting to just be a lovely kid, because I think I was a bit traumatized by it. But
oh, yeah, of
hey ho.
course. You see, there's so many, like, parents that split up, like, even under the age of 2 or whatever, but I think it's better to do it when they're really young compared to, like, what happened with you when you were 11 years old. Like, you obviously, you remember everything, but
And no siblings, so I didn't have any like sibling support or like brothers or
yeah.
sisters to do that with. Also, my mum then just started heavily drinking as well. She's
Mm,
always been quite a drinker. So she started heavily drinking.
yeah,
And then, you know, it's difficult to get your head around understanding why your parents do what they do. But at that time, they were so young. They were like not
yeah,
even in their 30s. And I was just completely confused. And I said in 1994, there was no idea of like, oh, maybe this kid should like go to therapy. And I was getting really heavily bullied at school as well for being overweight and like wearing glasses. So it was like a trifecta of just shittiness. But then
yeah.
I found the wonders of smoking weed, and that solved everything.
What age was that? 11?
Pretty close, about 14, 15.
Yeah, yeah, I was probably
I
around.
think I think what I did was at the time, at that point, I just went into like, oh, this is really hurting the top of my head. Why is there a stitch there? Shout out to Bad Apples for this.
Yeah, plug it.
Yeah, shout out
Oh,
to Bad
yeah,
Apples.
yeah,
It wasn't a gift. I did buy it. Um,
supporting.
I, I, yeah, I just kind of became like a recluse, really. And then I just went into, I got really into like comic books, video games, all that type of stuff.
Anything to get your head off it, right?
Yeah, well, anything to like be happy, because if I went out, I would get like the piss taken out of me, or people would try and beat me up, or you get jumped, or something like that. So it was just like, well, how about I just stay indoors and just play Yoshi's Island on the Super Nintendo? That'll do.
Mm,
But as you can imagine, that doesn't help your actual image to the other kids, because I
yeah.
was literally the ultra nerd
Yeah, I
before
was
it
gonna
was
say, it
cool.
sounds like you're a bit of a loner.
Yeah, Unabomber like tendencies, which I do get told.
Yeah, wow. And so
Who
you
would
said
say this about this face?
well, yeah, I can't say shit, but what but, so you said so you got step brothers and or sisters or
Yeah,
something?
so
Yeah.
I've got well, half so my parents remarried, but they didn't remarry people that have kids. So
Okay.
my parents had more kids.
Yeah,
So
right.
my younger brother, who's 13 years younger than me, then my sister, who's 15 years younger than me, and my youngest brother, who's 21 years younger than me.
And you're in contact with them now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
My brother and my sister, so my 21 years younger and 15 years younger siblings, they live in Sydney. They grew up in Sydney. So
Oh,
my
okay.
dad and stepmom moved to Sydney uh, in like 2005 ish. And my
Mhm.
mum and my uh, 13 years younger brother, they still live in England, in the London ish area. Although, to anyone that's listening, Where I grew up was not in a city, London. I know it's not London, bruv. I know that because people are very specific. If you're
Yeah.
from, 40 minutes outside of London on the train, you're a country bumpkin. So better not
So
say I'm
you
from
were a
London.
country bumpkin.
Yeah, I was. There is like
Oh,
fields and trees and shit.
what area is that?
It's kind of
If you want to say.
Guildford, Reading-ish sort of area. I mean, it's not that far out. You don't really have, especially in the southeast of England, or basically the south of England, you don't really have huge, well, mostly southeast. The London area, because London just has expanded so much, it's like ballooned out. But most
Mm,
people think that if you're from, like, there's something called the M25, which is a motorway that just runs in a circle around London, so you don't have to drive in and out. Maybe that's
okay.
something Sydney. Well, no, Sydney has sorted its roads out now to
Oh,
some
you
degree.
reckon? I fucking doubt that.
I'm sure you'd be like, "Come and live where I bloody live."
Mate, it takes me 2 hours to drive home sometimes. It's not even that far.
But in
Fuck.
comparison to when I moved there, anyway, I'm jumping ahead. But yeah, if you live from outside of the M25, you're not from London, so
Yeah.
don't even say it. But it's
Yeah.
the wider London area, and it's become so expensive to live in London as it has in
Oh, of
Sydney,
course.
so it's ballooned
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
So you went to primary school in that suburb?
it's like a town. So I went
Yeah.
to in a town because it's
Yeah.
I went to a little school called St Andrews that was next to a church that was like I think it's like 800, 900 years old.
Yeah. So Catholic primary school.
It wasn't Catholic. It
Oh,
was church. It's a Church of England school, Church of England church, and the school was nothing to do with religion. I didn't ever go to any schools that were like religion based. It's not really a very. Oh no, that's bullshit. No, that is a thing in the UK, but it was next to a church, but there was no like, oh, we're all Christians here or whatever.
even with the name St Andrews, it's still not a
Yeah, yeah, St Andrew's School. Yeah, that would make
no,
sense,
no
wouldn't it?
religion taught at the school at all, or
We no, not really. No, I mean, you at Christmas and stuff, you go to the church and do like Christmas carols and stuff, but there was no religion lessons. I mean, religion in the UK is very detached. It's not
mm,
as prevalent and or common as say it is here
yeah,
or in the US. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but Henry VIII has a lot to answer for after he split from the Catholic Church, so he could remarry. What a pig!
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah, all my schools I went to were fully into religion. Even my daughter's one now, that like she comes home and she's like, "Oh, I've got to go pray to God," and I'm like, "Fuck, that was quick." It was like the first day. Like, all right,
But
go and say your prayers.
from what I understand, though, the Catholic schools are normally better quality,
Yeah, that's
right?
that's it. That's pretty much the only reason why I signed my kids up. Like, I'm not fully religious now, but well, I'm starting to think that maybe I should get into it with all the shit going on in the world. But um,
Yeah, that'll solve
yeah,
it. Get
I
into
just find that
religion, mate. Get
yeah,
radicalized.
yeah, I might yeah, I just you do get a like if you're spending money, obviously you're going to get a better education, or I don't know. The public
Yeah.
schools around where I live and where I used to live
Well,
before we moved was a
my
bit
younger
rough.
sister, my younger sister went to a Catholic school, even though she's got no. My family are not Catholic at all. And then my youngest
Yeah,
brother went to one of the most expensive private schools in Sydney, St
yeah.
Joseph's.
Yeah, we used to play them in footy. We
And
used
I
to get
remember
pumped.
when I was when I first visited Australia after I finished university, in my early 30s, I was dating someone for a little bit while I was here, and her statement was St. Joseph's. It's full of date rapists and meatheads. So
Because they've got a thing where they do boarding, so it's just
yeah.
all the boys together, and it's just and then when they finally see a chick, they're just like, "Ruff," they just fucking jump on. Yeah, let's go get
But
her.
anyway, enough about date rape.
Yes, yeah, let's move on to what about sports and stuff when you were younger? Were you into that stuff, or were you more into
Well,
playing Nintendo and shit?
I guess so my dad, the police army guy, is very much into like martial arts and sports and stuff. So growing up, he tried to get me into football, like proper football, aka soccer, proper football.
Yeah,
Which I did play a fair bit, but because I was overweight as a child, it wasn't something I really enjoyed, and I'd get bullied at the football games and stuff. So I just kind of stopped doing that. And I think my dad tried to get me into loads of different types of sports,
Yeah,
but I
you
kind
need
of
that.
just, yeah, I mean, it just always seemed like, don't really want to do it. I think it was my dad trying to get me more into it. And
Yeah.
at school, it was very much the people that were into sports were the bullies, so I didn't really associate with them.
Okay. It was kinda
And
torture if you went into sporting and all your bullies are there, so you're like, "Why the fuck would I wanna be here then?"
well, that, and also the school sports teams were very. I mean, it's very different in the UK in comparison to here in Australia, where Australia is very much entrenched in schools and like the community and stuff like that. And obviously, sport is a thing in England, but it's not as kind of intertwined at schools.
Yeah.
The school I was at, it was very much about just PE, physical education. And I actually got bullied by some of the PE teachers as a kid. So it was just like, fuck. I was facing attacks from all sides.
Wow.
An alcoholic mum, and at times angry, violent dad, bullying at school, and then the teachers were bullying me as well. So it's like, no wonder I was wanting to get onto the Mary Jane at an early age.
Yeah. Yeah, well yeah, the sporting thing's funny, maybe that's why Australia's so good at sports because we do so much sport at school where compared to you guys, you just fucking it's either soccer or cricket, I guess.
Yeah, and
But we have plenty of
the other thing with football is that then you get to a certain age, and then it starts turning into, oh well, if you like football, I've got two family members who were part of. One of them was part of the Chelsea firm, and the other one was part of the Tottenham firm. So it's very much like it went from like, hey, watch football and have a nice time to go somewhere and get your face slashed.
Yeah, right. Wow.
And I wasn't really up for that at that age, or just
No,
probably now.
yeah.
But
Later
yeah,
in life you did, but yeah, not now.
yeah,
Not
later in
when you
life I
were
was well up for a scrap, but that was a few years later. But yeah,
and so if you didn't like sports, what did you do any other hobbies besides, like, um,
um,
video games and
video
maybe cricket?
games, comic books, collecting trading cards. I
Ooh.
was into Warhammer.
Ah, really? One of
Yeah,
those. One of those.
you would have been one of the bullies, wouldn't you? You'd be like, oh, you
Yeah.
fucking space marine nerd.
No.
The only thing I look back now and is that there was a lot of middle-aged men hanging around those places with kids.
Hmm.
It's like,
Strange.
was it Games Workshop or was it like Nonce Workshop? What was it?
Yeah, right. Yeah. But, no, I remember we had Tarzos. Do you remember those?
Yeah, I remember those.
Tarzos? Pog was it Pog? Pog was the
Pog,
same thing.
which
Now
lasted
you're
for
bringing back
about
some memories for me, man. Fuck.
which lasted about a week because everyone just realised it was like it's literally a piece of card that's round, and the
Yeah,
amount of
make your
imitation
own.
products that came out. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's I mean, it's a lot of the stuff that I think I did in reflection was probably just to keep myself busy and interested because
Mm.
I didn't want to go out and socialize. And it's funny because I'm very social person now, but at
Yeah.
that age I had zero self-confidence, self-esteem, and I was just so worried that I'd like bump into some of the kids who would like bully me or be horrible or call me a fat little cunt or whatever. And I just wanted to avoid having that. And also quite a lot of violence as well where I lived, where you just kind of just get your head kicked in for nothing. I was thinking, something popped into my mind the other day, going to a playground, getting on a swing, and this kid turns up and goes, "That's my swing." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, bam, straight punch to the face off the swing."
Yeah, wow.
And I was just like, okay. And a lot of like, if you, I'm sure it's the same for you where you grew up, because I've got a general idea of where you grew up. It's like just walking the streets at night or like going out, like you even just going to a skate park. The local non skaters would turn up with like iron bars and bats and stuff and just deck people.
Well, yeah,
So
yeah, you're probably wrong there. I grew up in a nice neighborhood. But,
fair enough.
yeah, I was more like just BMX riding around the area. It was pretty safe where I grew up, but,
Yeah, I mean, that's a
my brother
common
my
thing.
brother on the other hand were, like, where my parents brought up, my brothers was pretty rough, but then once I was born, they kinda had a little bit more money to move into a better area, so, no, my
Right.
area was fine, man. I just followed the wrong, Wrong path.
I didn't experience any of that. I didn't live in a shithole.
Sorry, mate. Sorry for putting you down, but
Sorry. Well, the thing is that I think a lot of people don't really. I mean, I think it's a bit different now. I think everyone thinks England, everyone just carries knives,
yeah,
because
well,
that's
that's true, isn't it?
well, no. Well, at
What I've
one point,
seen on Instagram.
I have to say, I have to admit, at one point, I was carrying a knife. So
Yeah, well, there you go.
I wouldn't have known what to fucking do with it.
True. And if you
But
did do something, well, fuck, it would have changed your life, right?
well, yeah, there was a couple of stabbing incidents at the school I went to, and it was just like, holy shit! This is back in the 90s. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was. I think a lot of people think the UK is all like Harry Potter and Notting Hill with fucking people just being really oh hello, but there's a lot of poverty and a lot of violence in the UK, and there has been for a long time.
Yeah, I thought it
And
was
it's
more of like a recent thing because fuck, it seems like it's been ramping up heaps, but it sounds like it was always there from the beginning, like from what you're saying.
well, again, a massive population, generations of poverty, really heavy alcohol consumption, which I know Australia has as well.
Mm.
But yeah, it wasn't like I was living in the fucking yeah. There you go. Well, I'm on this fucking vodka now, straight. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it was definitely somewhere where you had to. And I'm not saying I lived in a really really rough area, but yeah, it was
It was there. It was there.
it was just walking around. You could just get beaten up in the daytime just for nothing. Just
Yeah.
and especially if you skated, that was a huge thing. That I'd call them lads or eshays here. It's like in England, the chavs.
I
So it's
fucking
like
hate that term. Fucking
tracksuit,
essays.
fucking eshay adlays. The nutters in tracksuits and baseball caps would just walk around, and if you looked like you were a skater. I remember just skating once and a car pulling up and five dudes just getting out and just running at us and just beating us all up, jumping in the car and just driving off.
So were you a good skater?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. What? So you just rode around? Could you pop an ollie, bro?
I could do an ollie. I could do a kick flip. I could do a hard
No
flip.
way.
Yeah.
You have to show me one day, mate. Get
Oh,
the board
mate,
out.
I'd lost. Okay, so I was going through what I would call a midlife crisis during COVID. I think a lot of us went through a crisis. I bought a
We all do
skateboard.
that shit, man.
Yeah, I bought a skateboard, and then I tried to do like an ollie in the house, and I was doing it on a really like wooden
Carpet.
slippery floor, and it just
Oh,
slipped, and
fuck.
I landed on my elbow, smashed my elbow into bits, and just was laying there going, and I haven't really stepped on it since. I'm going to get back into skating and smoking hash. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
great
Yeah, fuck.
idea.
Yeah, it's funny the things you think of when you get older and you're like, "Oh, I can get back into that." I remember going to like yeah, my daughter had a birthday party and she went to the house and they had like the soccer ball there and I was like, "Oh yeah, well, let's play soccer with the kids." Bro, the fucking first bit I tried to do a massive kick, did the whole shoot, flipped over, landed on my head, almost knocked myself out, and then I was like, "Okay, not doing that again."
Oh,
But
you tried to do a
yeah.
bicycle kick.
Oh, just a normal big kick, and I slipped on the grass and just fucking smashed my head on the ground like a fucking spastic.
Your daughter comes over. Come on, old man, sit down.
Yeah.
Stop,
Yeah,
stop
everyone
trying
was
to.
like, "Yeah, sit down. Sit the fuck down."
But I
But,
guess that's something. I mean, when we're talking about probably the theme of this podcast, really is getting into graffiti. That was the something I still do now, not as much as I'd like to, and I do it for work as well, which is cool. But um, what do they say? Never do your hobby for your work. Not that it's ruined it
mm,
for me, but yeah, it's definitely not taking the fun out of it. But I got into graffiti through skating, really, and I know that's a lot of people.
yeah,
But going up to London, jumping on the commuter train, going to London Waterloo, then getting on the London Underground, and then going to this skate park. I think it still exists, but I don't think it's under the name. It's PlayStation Skate Park in Ladbroke Grove, which was under the motorway, and it was an amazing skate park. And that was the first time I ever noticed graffiti because everyone thinks the London Underground's all underground. I mean, it's in the name, but a lot
yeah.
of it, when it gets out of central London, it goes overground. So there's a
Ah, okay.
lot of trackside spots and stuff. And I'm pretty sure if anyone's listening to this, they're from London, they're like, that's not that spot, mate. You got that wrong. It's totally wrong. You fucking idiot. I thought you're from fucking near London, you cunt. But I'm pretty sure it's this spot called Royal Oak. And it's like you come out of the underground, and it goes overground, and then there was this FUME piece, massive chrome. I'm talking like 20-foot tall, 30, 40-foot wide. Again, it was chrome and black, which is what everyone thinks every piece in London is just chrome and black, which kind of was true at the time. And I
Yeah.
remember seeing that. And I know I've said this on other podcasts, but it is still sticks in my mind because I saw that giant fume piece and being like, what the fuck is that? What is that? That's huge. And then that whole train ride to Ladbroke Grove. I remember seeing some lean overs on the motorway where fume just leant over and written fume. And I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is that? What does that
How?
mean? And then
How'd they do
pulling
that?
into I don't think it's Ladbroke Grove Tube Station because all the Londoners will be like, there is no Ladbroke Grove Tube Station. But pulling into the tube station, you would need to get off to get to PlayStation Skate Park. And there was like a chrome and black fume piece on the signal box or the energy, what it's called. The big, I don't know the term. Anyway, right in the
Energy box,
station,
whatever it was, electrical box.
whatever. The only thing that's worth painting.
Yeah.
That's not the only thing that's worth painting. The only thing it's good for is painting and keeping the system running. It was a fume DDS piece, and I remember just being like, "Whoa!" And then from that day, I think it clicked.
Yeah.
Seeing the same thing written by the same person, I kind of already clicked. It would be. I just assumed it would be one person, and then seeing that, and then that whole day going to PlayStation Skate Park, there was pieces in the park and then you could look through the fence and look down onto the London Underground line, and there was loads. And I started noticing COSA, COSA, DDS, and I remember like, well, that's another person doing it. And then from then on, I think I just started obsessively thinking about it. But then a load of the other people that I was skating with, we all got into graffiti around about the same time.
What
And
what what uh what year was this?
this would have been like 1998, 99,
So what
probably.
age were you there? Like
I was like
16?
15, 16.
Yeah, right. Everyone has a similar story with how they got into graph. They just all of a sudden one day they just noticed like a piece or
Yeah.
a tag. Like you've seen it your whole life, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's one piece, and then
But I don't think
like
you're often looking
you get
for it though.
obsessed with it.
That's the thing. I
Yeah,
think if you're not looking for it, because that whole train journey going up to London, past a certain point, say what's called Clapham Junction, one of the big main stations, I think it's as big as Central Station in Sydney. There's so many big stations in London,
yeah,
um, like Waterloo, Paddington Bear. But then I guess you're not looking out the windows and noticing it, are you? You're just like on the
yeah.
train.
In
But the
your own
great
world.
thing used to be on those old trains, slam doors, you used to be able to just pull the windows down so you could just smoke a joint in the train carriage.
Yeah, like a
And,
like a Ritzy here where you can just open the door and just stand outside and have a durry.
mate, you could open the doors just like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
or just
I
jump
remember
onto
there
the
was just so dangerous, so dangerous. Just having a door you can just open when the train's doing like
yeah.
100 miles an hour. Great idea.
Wow,
Um,
wow.
but I suppose you're not looking for it. But then once you start looking for it, then you notice it.
Yeah,
And then what then happened for me was thinking, oh, there's Fume and COSA and Zonk and DDS in London. But then when in our area, even though it was just a bunch of little kids, we were lucky because we had the Surrey Institute of Art and Design, which is a world renowned, I believe, I never went there, but Surrey Institute of Art and Design is like a world renowned design and graphic design art university. So a load of writers would go to uni there, and then in our little area, our tiny little town, there would be like a Tizer ID piece. Who else was there? Like Par SKB, who was from Athens, who was like painted the metro loads. So you had like these tags in our local area. I remember seeing a Tizer ID, and it's the same ID crew as the Melbourne one, which
oh,
is
really?
small
Okay.
world, yeah. Tizer, amazing legend, really nice dude. amazing artist. But there'd be like little Tizer ID tags in our town, and we'd just be like, boom, we're all just trying to learn how to actually use a marker, doing the shittest tags, and there's like a Tizer ID tag, like in like a silver. I remember next to the post office, like about this big in silver pen, just like so good. We were lucky to have that, and the first ever panel that I did was with that Par SKB guy, because we had a local yard, and my friend and I, we were really driven because we wanted to go and do trains, and we were like the outsiders because there was like a local crew, KFN,
Mm.
kids from Nam, and they were they were the older boys. They were the
From
older boys, kids from Nam, because the
fucking
town that was
funny. Yeah.
next to where I lived was Farnham, so Nam, kids from
Oh, I thought you
Nam.
were talking about from Vietnam, but yeah, a bunch of Vietnamese kids running
just
around
a,
taking
just a,
trains.
yeah, just a bunch of Vietnamese
Fucking
dudes
hilarious.
randomly in a small town in England, in the southeast of England, just running things. Um, um, but they were the older skater kids, so they were cool. You see, they were like to us, they were the older skaters who could skate well. And there was
Yeah.
one of them in there who was like he he regulated. Most of them were just all chilled stoner kids, but this one
Mm.
dude, he would beat the shit out of people. So they were quite scary, and we weren't like in with them. So me and my friend who wrote he wrote many things. Let's go through what he wrote. He wrote TERZ, TERZ, then wank. He wrote wank, and
Beautiful.
then he wrote slut. So he was obviously going for some um,
Out there.
crazy words, or crazy just writing slut.
Yeah.
But we were just, so there's this really good checking point near our local yard. We can just, so it's really old Victorian era sheds. So like a really big old shed. It's been all redone now. And we just went there one night at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and there was these two dudes just stood on the bridge, and we were like, fuck, who are these? Who are these two? And it turned out it was Par SKB, Stoned Killer Bees from Greece, and a guy who wrote superheroes.
That was his tag?
Yes, superheroes.
Fuck, that's a long tag.
But he would just do super pieces. But they were like, oh, you guys doing the spray paint? And we were like, yeah, yeah, we are, yeah. We had no plan on doing it. It was so scary to us. Even though I look back now, it was the most piss easy spot. I later found out on a Sunday from midnight until midnight Monday morning or Sunday night, the whole yard was empty with no one in it for 24 hours.
Wow.
And people used to just go in there and have full yard parties in the daytime. Anyway, and then we were looking at it, and we were like, yeah. And then they took us under their like wing and took us to go and do panels and stuff. And
Fuck, all right.
that Par SKB guy took me and Slut, I think he was writing Slut at the time, to go and do our first panels in that yard. And
Yeah.
yeah, that was cool. There was a train strike. There's a lot of train strikes in the UK, and
Yeah.
it was like a summer night, and we went there like 9 p.m. And hopefully I'll reconnect with Slut one day, because I completely lost contact with him. I think most people did. Last time I heard, he married someone and moved to Thailand, or moved to Thailand and married someone. Don't know which order. And he
Did
had the only photo of my first panel, but I think I should probably give up ever getting that photo.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, yeah, seeing all those like old tags and pieces and stuff like that. Did you ever paint with those old school writers or whatever from
Which
back? Because
ones?
obviously that Fume guy he must have been pretty good for you to notice, right?
Oh,
Or
well, they were inner city London, you see, and we were out in the sticks. So
okay. So you go in, have a look, and see the stuff, and be like, oh fuck, this guy's good.
I'd be
Uh,
like, oh, look, there's a Zonk DDS. Zonk, ZONK, was someone who was very prolific when I was first starting out. But then what then happened was we then realised that there was actually kind of like a 20-ish years of a local scene that we had. So there was a TZC crew, Twilight Zone crew. I remember it just being
ooh,
like, whoa, what? Twilight Zone crew, mind blown.
I want to be in the
Um,
Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Just because it's just like I think the first crew that me and Slut had made was OSM, Old School Massive, and this dude who was like a DJ in our local area, like a hip hop DJ, was like, "Well, you're lying to yourselves because you're not old school and you're not massive." And we were so wounded, we instantly stopped ever writing it again.
Yeah, wow.
Um, but yeah, we then realised there was like a local scene. So in a lot of the trackside spots, you would find Jabs pieces, Jabz, or Jabber, Jaber, and he was part of TZC, and he had a lot of because a lot of the trackside spots were quite newly built, which was great, but they were very blank. And weirdly enough, they do actually buff the tracksides near where we live, even though it's in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, that's wild.
And so who else was in? So there was Desta, who'd also been painting since like the 80s. So we were
Wow.
then finding in our little area there was actually quite a legacy of people. Jewel, Duel, and then there was another bunch of little crews that were was it NLS. So there was actually quite a few writers because I think we were we were like bumpkins, but we weren't so far out of London that we never had any influence. But also, what
Yeah.
started happening was Graphitism magazine.
Ah, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I've got a few of those at home.
Yeah, so that was before it went all like art and design, like cool photo shoots sort of
Yeah.
thing. I think that was very influential to me and a lot of other UK people because back then you didn't have any media to show you like UK train panels. But there was also that was the beginning of websites. So there was three like iterations of a website. So the first one was Digital Jungle, which is still there. I think they're still
Is it
actually there.
I remember that. Yeah, I used to see that too when I was younger. Yeah.
They're actually still there. I'm going to be really annoying. Just type
Did you
it in.
ever I don't know if it was an Australian thing, but there was a Two True forum. Did you ever hear of that on the
No.
hiphop.com or whatever it was? It was like the hip hop forum. That was a worldwide one, the hip hop one. Did you
Also,
ever
12-ounce profit became obviously a
Yeah,
huge.
sorry. I think that was the one. Yeah.
I'm
And
just
you could go
typing
on,
it
look at,
in.
like, San Francisco freight and shit like that, and then just, like, go through
Christ,
the
this is still here. So if people want to see this, graffiti.org. Also, that was another one. Like
Yeah, I
we
remember
found
that.
graffiti.org, but there's graffiti.org/DJ, which stands for Digital Jungle. And that has
Uh,
Digital Jungle, which is like an archive, thousands of photos. But again, it's like, oh, it's just shitty English pieces. Enigma, which was like a monthly magazine. So at the time, like an online magazine, that
mm,
was really amazing. And that showed you there was pieces in like London, Leeds, Manchester. So already starting to realise, because of having the internet and graphitism and stuff like that, you started to realise it was like a worldwide culture. Also,
yeah,
then my mate's mum or my mate's parents were like old school, cool hippies. So they lived in like the countryside, and we just used to go there and blaze weed. And they actually like probably encouraged it and just liked some free weed.
probably.
And they had a copy of an original print of Subway Art.
Oh, true.
So getting that, also with that graffiti.org/DJ, there was also location 12, which was updated daily with new
Yeah.
flicks.
Did it
So
have,
like,
like, different, little, like, genres of, like, the different suburbs and stuff in the
uh,
UK, and then you could click on that and you see who's in the area? Like
depending on which iteration of that digital, because it was like Digital Jungle, then Enigma, then Location 12. But Location 12, I'm looking at it here, it was almost like an online news website, but 100% about graph.
yeah.
And because everyone was submitting to that.
Okay. So it was like just a forum, just one page, and then you'd see all the different photos and then have where they
Yeah, so it was
were.
like a daily update. So it would be if it was today, it would be like July 6th, 2025. It
Yeah,
updated, and then it's got like photos people have submitted. So it could be panels, walls, bombing. I mean, it was just. I'm just looking at it now. There's this Tours FKF piece that is an absolute burner.
yeah.
Anyway,
It's
I
it's kind
digress.
it's kinda like, today with Instagram and stuff,
Yeah.
like, it's yeah, because when I first started, it was like I'd go to the local library, and they had, like, like graph books and stuff like that, and that's how we had to try and find like different graffiti stuff. But now, like as soon as the internet came in, and then all these websites started coming up, that's when you kind of got a little bit better. You could see people's different letter forms and stuff, and then you would improve. But now, like you've got Instagram, and it's skyrocketed people's like abilities
Oh
to
yeah.
paint now. Like you see kids that are like, I painted with like like a month ago or whatever. I painted with like a dude who was like 18, and he's fucking better than me, man. I'm like, fuck me, how did you do this? And it's like you've got YouTube tutorials now. You've got fucking Instagram everywhere, just loads and loads of fucking photos and stuff, which we never really had until like the internet came around.
Do you know what I
But yeah,
really messed up with? I took on the subway art thing of like you can't bite,
yeah, no, I never did that.
and
I bit everything.
I didn't. I did the opposite,
Literally
mate.
just
I was
copied
like,
every fucking letter.
that's I don't know. That's what I would recommend to anyone that's listening to this. I'm just getting into graph. Yeah, I'm just getting into it. Yeah. Copy,
Yeah,
completely copy.
yeah.
Work
Well,
out
that's
how people do it because that's the key. Is they don't go and paint it and go, oh, this SEAN piece, that I've done, this Sean piece. Hang on, that
yeah,
looks quite like a scene piece. What are you
yeah.
doing?
Exactly. Well, that's what I did, man. It's like Sydney. Well, Sydney's scene is all public style, right? It's all based off New York. So I
Yeah.
mean, everyone did it. I don't care who you are. Like, yeah, all the old school crews in Sydney. It's all based off, like I don't know, like the mayors, the scenes, I don't know,
It's a
all
very
New
cool
York.
style. It's a
It's
very
all
cool
exactly the
style.
same. I'm sure those guys did the exact same thing as us and thought that no one would notice, but it's taken a turn for the better. Like in Sydney, they just evolved. Like, I mean, you see like
What I
Zombie and
really like
those
though is
OSF crews and stuff like that. They just took it to the next level, and it's kind of turned into a Sydney style, which is fucking pretty cool.
there's a couple of people who I think what I really like is when people take a style and turn it into their own thing. Is it
Yeah, and make it better.
Scram? Is that's a person
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Sydney, but
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah. He
or
was one of my
she
favorite
or
writers.
they um
Him.
does that public-ish stuff. Okay, him. Okay, yeah. Don't want to assume,
Don't
but
get the genders wrong, mate.
yeah, deplatformed. Scram, what I really like about someone like Scram is they've taken that public Sydney style and then made it their own. So
Oh
there's a
man,
lot of
yeah,
variation.
yeah.
Our mate
I,
who's
I,
from the
I
north of England and he always bangs on about how all Londoners do an A exactly the same way. And I'm
yeah,
like, no, we don't. And I dug out what's it like? Not Digital Jungle, London Wildlife Book. And I was like, look, there's loads of London people in here. And he's like, same A, same A. That's the same A. That's the same. That looks the same. And I was like, all right, you've got me.
yeah. Well, how many times can you change a letter? Like someone's fucking done it, but it just matters like how it works with your other letters in your piece, right? Like,
And
yeah,
then,
that's what I
okay.
always
And then,
found.
oh, now this is bringing back lots of memories because, again, we weren't in the complete dark ages of you only had one copy of
Yeah,
Style Wars that
the 80s. Yeah,
was passed on from the folklore of one person and then they copied 12 times. And it was actually I've heard of people watching Style Wars and the music and the audio or the spoken language. It's not an audio book. The audio's off. So it's like it's a shit copy. So you're watching it and it's like warped, or the interviews are all weird. It wasn't that bad, but we used to go up to Tower Records. Was it Tower Records? There was quite so for people that are young people that don't remember that, because it doesn't exist anymore, I don't think, Tower Records. That was where it was like a record, CD, DVD, VHS, magazine, like store. They were in lots of cities around the world, and they were pretty cool because they often had like graffiti VHS or graffiti magazines. And
yeah.
I got a
Like
copy
next
of
level in Sydney, similar to that, right?
yeah, yeah, but these are like
Yeah,
big, massive stores. And I do remember going to the magazine section. They'd like stock graphitism and whatever. And I remember just being like, whoa, there's so many tags here. It'd be like London Writers tags next to the magazine section. And I'd be like, oh, that's so cool. They come here and buy these magazines. And that's really cool. It's like, no, they come in and rack all the magazines, you idiot. Because that's the other thing I didn't have any. I knew about that it was kind of Subway Art hinted at that you thieve your spray paint. but
Yeah.
we had no reference point. Also, my dad was a copper at the same time, so I'd grown up like
Mm.
shoplifting was a really bad thing to do. I never
Oh
even
shit.
thought about it, and had never really racked paint. I've racked paint, but never to the point of like if you like it was always just buying paint. We were just buying
Okay.
shitty car paint. Okay, we then stole a few cans, so I have racked paint, but it was
Yeah.
never like part of how I grew up writing. Because for
Yeah.
a lot of people, it's like that's if you buy your paint, you'd have to pretend you don't buy your paint because
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
That's
toy.
what Sydney was like that, man. Like, yeah, when I first started, it was all racked ins. Like, I didn't buy paint for years, man. Probably until
Yeah,
I was probably like 5 or 6 years into it, and I started getting better. But it works out better because like all the cheap paint that you rack, you have to
yeah.
use like the different nozzles to try and make it fit, or put. I remember like cutting like little City Rail tickets and putting it in the actual export cap to try and make so
Oh
you can do
yeah,
like holdbacks.
yeah.
And it makes you a better rider because you're using shit paint. And then when I finally got a fucking what was it? I think I bought what is it? A Molotov.
For like
And the
ninety
first time I
dollars.
bought that, I was like, "What the fuck?" You can buy caps. You don't have to use a deodorant cap. You can fucking and then when it comes out, it's all clean. You're like, "I don't want to fucking go back to that again." So then you start racking the Molotovs. You're like, man, we used to go in and just like, yeah, take so much paint. You get bag loads of paint. There's a place at Paddington, it used to be called Izo's, and every cunt used to go in there, and like some people were like muralists, they do big productions and stuff like that. So they'd pay for a certain amount of paint, and then when they're not looking, obviously they get let into the mural area, which is like upstairs. You get more paint selection and stuff like that because they trusted you. And then as soon as the guy's gone, they're just fucking stuffing bag loads of fucking paint, and it's like, yeah, I just remember racking so much paint, man. Bunnings was like a when Bunnings came out because it used to be called BBC back in the day, and then Bunnings came out, and then it was just like originally I worked there for like work experience when I was like 16, and even then, man, like we'll just like racking paint at lunchtime. Yeah, it was a every weekend experience, just going there, rack and paint from there. Big W as well. They used to sell paint. Target as well. They had like car spray paints that you could get, but it was just so easy, man. Like you could just literally bring in a bag and just stuff all the paint in there. There was no cameras really. Yeah, you just stuff your bag full, just walk out and be like, "See you, mate." And they're like, "Yeah, thanks for coming."
Well, I've got quite a few mates who, you know, racked way more than me, just things in general. And a lot of them have moved here and just been like, it's so easy to rack in Australia still.
Mate, we used to get at Bunnings. You could literally just get the boxes before they had cages and shit. You could get the boxes, go out into the garden area. You know the garden area, it's
Oh,
outside.
I've heard that
And
from so many Aussies. It's about the garden area.
yeah, then you just throw the boxes of cans over the fence, and then someone's there waiting, and then you've got like 12 cans for free or
That's
whatever.
exactly what
Uh, we
3 or
don't
4.
condone stealing, by
No,
the way, on this
no.
podcast, but
Uh,
there was another method that I've
unless the
heard.
paint's good, and then we do condone it. Um,
Yeah,
because
but-
the thing, so again, for me, there was never any reference point for that. Because again, it was just
okay,
me and my mate basically, and a couple of other mates who kind of. But there wasn't really much. I mean, thinking back to it, we did thief paint quite a few times, but it was
yeah, one or
more
two
like
cans, dack it down the
it,
front.
but it was more just like, oh, you could go into, you knew a mate that was at a store that would leave 5 cans of stone chip, which is like, the covers all that like tar paint,
Yeah, 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 the
the stuff
black.
that's really good coverage, the black stuff. There's a
Yeah,
British brand called Stone Chip, which is
okay.
a similar brand, and you can just that's what the really hardcore people use. They use Stone Chip, and but then I
What?
think back, and there was also a little tiny store that was like one of those £1 stores that was run by a bunch of Indian dudes in our local town. And again, no
Oh,
one
they're the
racked
easiest to rack
paint.
from.
What's that?
They're the easiest to rack from. Those
Well,
little
no,
little.
mate. We found in there these brand of paint called High Coats. They were small cans, but in comparison to the other brands like Car Plan, which was absolute dog shit,
Mm.
But it was just you used what you could get, didn't you? You couldn't be like, oh no, I'm only using the Molotov or I'm only using the loop. It's like you just you didn't have the money. Um,
Yeah. Anything.
it, and we found this store. It was buy one get one free, £1 a can. And this high coat
Wow.
stuff was like, I reckon it's on par with saying like not loop, but I don't know.
Fuck,
My interest,
that's good.
like aero art, maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that good, but £1 a can. I know it's only a little one, but it was buy one get one free.
Yeah.
We then worked out that they never looked in the bag. So
Wow.
they'd just be like, fill up a bag and then tell us what you've got. And we were like, like 20 cans. How many have you got? 5. And I'm just like, okay, bye.
Yeah. Yeah, the
So
racking
that,
head's funny, man. I remember going into a Bunnings and I was taking a little protege of mine. I was pulled up to the to Bunnings and then I opened the car to get out, and then as I shut the door, I fucking closed my finger in the actual door, and it just ripped my finger apart. And so I had to walk in there to Bunnings to say, "Oh, can I get like some medical attention or whatever?" Got a band-aid or whatever. And then I was like, "Oh, you know what? I just gotta grab some stuff." I went in there, racked like I don't know, it's probably like 6 cans at the front of my pants. Walked out, and the lady's like, "Thanks for coming. I hope you get better." And I'm like, "Yeah, sweet." Jump back in the car, and then my mate fucking had to go in there and rack as well.
as you
It's like
do.
so many fucking shit stories like that. Like it was good
But
times.
I
Like
think,
now they've got the cages and shit like that. Now cameras everywhere. You can still do it, but yeah,
but I mean, the other thing that
you're an older
happens,
gentleman now, so you can you got money to buy and paint's pretty reasonable now. Whereas paint back then was like decent paint was like $13 for the Molotovs and stuff like that. Couldn't
well,
afford that shit.
we just didn't have good quality painting. I mean, just our awareness, because again, you didn't have the internet to like, the internet existed, but it was like really basic text with maybe like a slightly
Yeah,
terrible animated GIF thing at the
yeah.
top.
56K
Um,
modem.
yeah, exactly. Oh, that was another thing that I had got into, which I should have stuck with in my like I'm a nerd phase. I learned how to do like HTML and JavaScript and computer coding. Just I could have been Zuckerberg, mate.
Mate, you've missed out, man.
I was like, no, I want to
Look at you
start
now. You're in a
skating.
balaclava on a fucking podcast.
Yeah, I want to skate and like smoke weed and shit. Yeah, that's better. Graffiti's way more productive. But then going back to what I was saying about going up to Tower Records, two very important VHSs that I bought. So VHS tapes, for people that don't know what that is, it's like before. Well, I don't know. That's before DVDs. They're like, what's a DVD? So it
Yeah,
was
what's
actual
the
tape, like a tape thing that you put into a machine and press play. So all the youngsters are like, what do you mean press play? What's a tape? What's a video record? Anyway, first one, Cope 2 Kings Destroy.
I've got that on VHS right now.
Now, again, he's a very controversial character, but let's just ignore that. Just because you don't like the person these days, we've heard rumors, doesn't mean you can't like their work. That's like
Yeah.
Michael Jackson. Not saying that it's the same situation, but you can still appreciate Michael Jackson's work and
Oh
don't
yeah.
have to.
Everyone still listens to it, right?
And me and my mate, we flogged that fucking VHS. Like I could probably still quote it now. I can just see, and the bit where he goes, and he just goes, and he's under Tracy Towers, and they just goes up to the security thing. And now they've got security here and all this shit. These stupid
Fuck these
motherfuckers,
guys.
and like
Fuck this shit.
fuck this piece of shit. R.I.P. Princess Diana. We were just like, whoa, fucking actual footage of people painting trains.
Do you remember that where he walks into the subway and there's a dude sitting in the train? He's like, "Watch this shit. I'm gonna fuck this train up." And the guy's like sitting watching him, and he's just like, "Fuck you," and just walks over and just does a panel.
Or the bit where
I
he
think
goes,
I know my memory served me
I'm gonna
wrong,
go to
but
the Vandal Squad office. Knocks on
yeah,
the door. Fuck these
that's a
motherfuckers.
that was a. I actually picked that up when I was in Thailand. When I was like, I think I was about, I think I was like 17. Went over there on the solo trip because my brother used to live there, and
Yeah.
yeah, found a shop that sold Montanas and had that VHS, and then I brought it back here, and I was like, I need to find a VHS player, have one. So I went to a shop and converted it from VHS onto CD. Do you remember those shops? You could
Yeah, yeah.
bring in like a tape and they'd convert it. It'd take like 2 days, but I've
I
actually
think
got like the printed out, like they copied the VHS cover and they made it into a DVD, and I ended up selling them for heaps. So sorry, Cope.
But what I did love about that one was though the fact that it tied together in my mind a lot of things that I'd maybe seen in Subway Art. So I'd obviously seen T Kid. Is T Kid even in Subway Art? Yeah, it must be.
Yeah, I think he
T
is.
Kid is, oh well, he's got panels in there, but like T Kid scenes in it. Henry Chalfant's briefly in it, but then
Yeah.
it was like showing the young people, the young people. Then I would say there was actually 3 VHSs actually that were really, really powerful for me. Then going to Tower Records and like just going through, I'd always be looking for, because I collected records as well, because it's the nerd in me. I'm like, I want to find the newest graffiti DVD or VHS or whatever.
Yeah, same. I got
And I was
heaps.
like looking through and I was like, oh, what's this? Oh. It's like Dirty Hands 2. What's that?
Oh, that one's
Dirty
fucking
Hands, and it's
cool,
like a
man.
photo of a guy in a sub. And I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And it was just like Paris, destruction in Paris. And we were just like, "What the fuck?" Got back to my mate's house 2 hours later. He's like, "Oh, I wonder this is." I said, "Wonder if any good." Put it in, and it was just like, boom.
Yeah. Was that the which one was the Pharaoh Monch song that started it?
That was it.
That was the one, Dirty Hands 2?
Where they climb over the fence and they scrabble down the embankment,
Yeah.
and then there's like it's like inner. It's almost like at
That
the
was
bottom.
that was the first one that was the first Graph DVD besides Star Wars. Actually, I think I watched Star Wars after that. I remember just putting it on.
Yeah, I didn't see Star Wars until about 10 years ago.
Yeah, I bought it was like a DVD collection of like I think it was like a 20-year reunion thing or whatever the fuck it was. Well, maybe it was like 40 years actually.
I
But
actually had a dude on an episode who was involved in the
oh,
re-editing.
yeah, I listened to that one. That was hectic, man. I can't believe you got that. That's
I know
so
that was a real
that was
win.
so good. You were eventually you were supposed to get someone else, weren't you? From
Yeah,
memory.
scheme.
Oh fuck, that's a tough ask.
I know. Well, he said
Hey, shoot for the
yes.
stars, mate. Shoot for the stars.
He said yes. Oh, to be honest, I asked Quick,
Yeah.
Quik, and I think it was just Quick and Scheme, and Scheme was like, yeah, I'm keen, and then
Fuck,
kind of just. I mean,
he's a
I
busy
was like,
man.
"Fuck, is this
Yeah.
actually gonna?" I even asked Henry
Mate.
Chelfan for fuck's sake.
Yeah. I would have been like, I've won the lottery, babe. I'm going on a bender for a week.
But the great thing
That was
was
a
about
really
that was,
interesting podcast. Go back and listen to that, cunts. It's
yeah,
fucking. It was really
yeah,
good.
cunts.
I liked it.
I think that was episode 60, wasn't it? And then I also had I asked people to send in their impressions of bits out of Style Wars
Yeah.
at the beginning of the episode. It was like people sent in voice messages of like, this is it, this is it.
Yeah, man. That's
Oh.
right.
So
Fuck,
yeah,
so many
because
people have done a redo of that. Like some Coleys are running in, and people are like, "Oh, this is it, this is it." And you're like, "It's just a Coley, man." But
it's not as it, is it really?
yeah.
Not hating on anyone for doing freights.
Oh no,
I think
I've never
freights.
actually done one before. Never.
What?
Yeah, I know it blows everyone's mind. I'm like, I've never fucking done. I've always wanted to, but I just because
Oh,
I got done on the way to do one when I was really young, and then it just never really eventuated.
I
So I
have
just went back.
only done Metro. That is it. I have not done Freight. That is for toys. I have only done 65 Metro.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah. So Dirty Hands 2 and Coat 2 Kings Destroy. Then I saw advertised. I think it was in Graffitism magazine. Something called London's White Trash,
Oh,
which
never heard that
was
before.
mate. It was so London. That was what sparked me to think I had to wear a tracksuit and kick the shit out of people to be a writer. Just like really good drum and bass soundtrack and just the shittest footage of the like handheld camcorder of people just doing.
They're
I
the
mean,
best.
it's.
I
I
like
mean,
those ones.
yeah, it was dope. It was dope, and I still can watch it now. Um, but I remember just getting it, and it was just like, fuck, this is it. This is what I've got to do. It's all about panels that are like this big,
Yeah, that's what I did.
panels that are
My
this tall.
first panel. my first panels were so fucking small because I know back in the 90s, all the panels were really small. And then all of a sudden, I think it was like the 2015, people started doing like from the midsection down to the ground, whereas most people did their piece and did like shadow and 3Ds underneath, but then it just went straight down to the ground. And I did one, and it was fucking tiny, man. Like I'm talking like a fucking shoebox. It was fucking disgusting. And then cunts are like, "Why'd you paint so fucking small, man?" I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I had a fucking deodorant caps. I had a fucking shit paint from fucking I don't know export tins or whatever. But
I
um,
I was having this
yeah,
discussion with a mate the other day, and I was like, "You can't criticize anyone's panels. I don't.
no, because they're doing it. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I know
Just doing a
some of 'em I
panel.
don't like, but I'm like, well, fuck, props for doing it because it's so hard to do these days, man. So whatever gets around,
I'd
good on
rather
you, man.
see someone doing a panel in it, even if it's absolutely shit, than 100 fucking legal walls with photorealistic birds and fucking just just the energy of a panel. Even just if I
Oh
see a
yeah,
hollow or a tag on a train, I'm like, yeah, fucking
yeah.
yeah.
It's so rare these days. Like we used to just do, fuck, man, it was like a spot around the area I used to go to, and you could do the like you could stand on a fence and then paint like the
Yeah.
top of the tangaras, like that little edge bit, and have it there, and it just stays there because the buffers couldn't be fucked buffing them, and it stayed there forever, man. And I was like, yeah, you don't get that these days. Now it's just a piece, like a panel, or nothing. Like you
Yeah.
get a little bit of bombing on the side of a train, but when you do see that panel, you're like, oh, and it G's you up, and you're like, fuck, maybe I should get back into it.
I did see when I was in Sydney a couple of weeks ago, I did see as I got on at Mascot, there was two panels on the other side on the other
Wow.
train, and I was right at the end of the platform. I just kind of did like a half run, half shuffle to try and get a photo, and then didn't get that. And then when I was then on the train coming back from where I was going, another train came past, and it was so close that all I saw was just a flash of it was
Mm,
I think I'm just so wanting everything to be panels that often I'll look and I'm like, there's a fucking panel, and it's like an advert. But these were definitely panels, and it
yeah,
went
yeah, but
past,
you
and
see it in the distance, and you're like, fuck, is that a panel? And you're like, oh, fuck, it's some, yeah,
it's an
that's not a panel.
advert. And I was waiting by the window. I was like, please let the train catch up with it. Please let the train catch up with it, and never saw it. But that is good to see because
Yeah,
Sydney, it's not easy. You do get
no,
investigated.
man.
Um,
Yeah,
but it's good to see that stuff runs because I mean, I don't get the train as much here because I drive mostly, but I've only ever seen one panel in Melbourne. But I know they do happen. But
yeah,
yeah.
I've seen some recent ones, but have you got any like chase stories or I don't know close calls or have you obviously I think you've been done before. What
Yeah, I've got quite a few arrests. They're normally like
quite a few.
drunken.
Let's just start off with the best one.
Best one. Okay, yeah. So Byron Bay in
Oh,
God,
the SkyTrain or the electric train?
I wish. Um, God, I would have been like 23, 24 when I came here traveling before I moved here. So in my early 20s. Um, we were running on a budget, so we'd moved from drinking beers to people like you can get these boxes of wine here, and they're like
Yeah,
super
cast one.
cheap, and
Yeah.
you get super drunk. I didn't realize you then lose your fucking mind as well. People go anyway. So we've been drinking the bag of goon, and then we were like, let's go down to the beach. And I was like, I've got paint. Great idea. So I'm just bombing alleyways in Byron Bay. It was me, mate, and these two Dutch people who had nothing to do with graph. And they were like, why do you do this? Why? We just don't understand. Like, why are you writing these stupid words? It's beautiful here. Why would you do it? Anyway, so we get down to the beach. My mate's like, I'm going for a swim. He runs, goes, jumps, and probably not thinking there might be sharks there at that time of night, but whatever. Um, he jumps in, and I'm like, right. I went into like battle mode. I'm like, I've got paint. I'm doing a throw up. I just started walking down the beach to find the first corrugated iron like fence, and I'm
And
just like
yeah, yeah.
drunkenly just going. Probably in my mind, it was like the sickest throw up,
Oh
but
yeah.
it was
Yeah.
probably dog shit. Anyway, halfway through, drunkenly look, just car headlights right next to me. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I was like, shit. Started running and ran what I thought was into some bushes. Well, it was bushes, but it was like a few trees and some bushes and then just an embankment.
Hiding behind one tree.
Just like, you can imagine me just going, just running down the embankment, stacked it, fell into some rocks. Cops come running down, get me, drag me up.
So was it a cop that was in that car?
Yeah, it was two cops in a car. It was in one of the box, the bully vans. I don't call them bully vans here,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the one they just, if you're not knowing what you're doing, they bounce you around like a pinball in the back.
Yeah.
So yeah, run down. They drag me up. And then I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just a tourist. And then one of them's going, and I didn't realise rural police in Australia, fucking hell, they don't mess about, do they? One of them punches me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, put your hands behind your fucking head, you cunt. And I'm just like, And he goes, what should we do with him, Sarge? And I'm just like, it felt like I was going to be executed or something. I'm going, my mum's a lawyer in London. I'm sure she wouldn't want. And I'm trying to like talk my way out of it. And they're like, get in the fucking van. Where are you staying? Like threw me in the back, drove me round town, and he's just shouting through, if you're not fucking gone by tomorrow, I'm coming for you, boy. Oh wait, that's animal
Fuck.
London. He's like, I'm coming for you, mate. You're gonna be found. I'm gonna fucking get you. And it was just like, and they just took me to my hostel, threw me out of the van, and went, be gone by the morning, or I'm coming back and you're fucked. I was panicking because I was like, fuck, my dad lives in Australia. I don't know, you start catastrophizing. I'm here on, I don't want to get deported, thinking I'll get deported for like a throw up. You probably,
Yeah.
do.
They
And
should
then
have
the
deported.
next day, because I woke up in the morning super hungover, covered in bruises, cuts, a bit of like a semi black eye from the punch.
So they
And
didn't take you back to the station. They just
no,
dropped you back at the hotel.
no.
Fuck, what legends.
I know, yeah, it was all right, isn't it? But
You know.
I was the whole next day, our coach out of Byron Bay was not until the day after, the morning after. So it was the day after, and I was scared all day this cop was going to turn up
Yeah.
and arrest me. But on that day, we walked, and I saw an ochre, he's now GSD tag at the most easterly point in Australia in a little marker pen. So maybe it was worth it.
Yeah, wow.
That was
But
that was not the real. That was just like funny. And then I'm trying to think of all these times I've been arrested.
what about trains? Did you ever have any close calls with trains when you painted?
Not actually been. Oh well, yes, actually, yeah. Thinking about it. So okay, so we went to this spot. I was always the driver. I would always wanted to drive. So people took the piss
In
with
the
that.
UK?
Yeah. But they would
Yeah.
they go, oh, I'm going to petrol money. But I always just wanted to go to all these different spots because a big thing I really liked was in the UK, and you don't really have it as much here because obviously the distances are way further. But people just drive to little town, because there's so many yards in the UK and there's so many layups. So anyway, go to this spot, looking really sweet. I'd been there before, I'd painted there before, and we'd done the right thing where you like park further away and then you walk in the dark and you wait and you watch and you just check there's no one around, what you're meant to do. But I think I've become quite confident because I've been painting with people who do, yeah, fucking chickens for idiots. Just go and fucking do it, bruv. Don't fucking
Run at it, bruh. Run at it.
pop the fence, bruv. Fucking fight security and that, yeah.
Yeah. Throw some rocks.
Yeah, great idea.
But you don't have rocks over there, do you?
No. Oh no, yeah, you do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You've got rocks on the tracks. We're not that old school. It's not like steam powered. Choo-choo. There's no rocks. It's just concrete and
Steam
steam.
trains over there, isn't it?
Yeah. And so we get. I knew the spot. I was with a couple of people that wanted to paint, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll take you yard, mate." When you get overly confident, I've done this before. I'll take you yard. Yeah, I'll take you yard. And I knew there was an industrial estate where you could see the train quite easy. So you drive in there, have a look, drive around. Anyway, and I was just so overly confident. I was like, let's just park here and jump the fence. And we're talking like park the car in an industrial estate where you shouldn't be at night anyway, really, or you've got no reason to be there. an
Any
old
cameras there
wire fence. I hadn't even thought about that. This is
Mm.
back in the 1800s. No, not really. 15 years ago.
Oh, pretty old,
Um, and like a wire fence that was just decayed. So you could just jump the fence and you're there, right there next to the train. So stupid. Because then we kind of like jumped, went round the front. We're just like, so cars parked like here, train sat. Oh shit, it's ignored.
yeah,
Anyway,
good diagram.
we then went on. Yeah, we then went on to the other side of the train, and it's like, okay, cool. And then I could just see, I look, and hadn't realised there was a load of light coming from one of the bits of the industrial estate. And I looked, and I could just see a pair of shadow legs walking towards the train. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Pop my head round the front of the train. Everyone else is there. We're all masked up. We're literally looking like this. And I look, and there's a guy who goes, what the fuck are you doing, you fucking cunt? Anyway, I was like, oh shit. Anyway, 2 seconds later, woo, 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 full alarms are going off. We can just hear and see like loads of people running at us. Like, what the fuck? Get him, fucking get him. So we just start running away from the train. Bear in mind, we didn't realise these people are behind a fence, but you haven't really got time to think, have you? You haven't really got time to think. Later comes to realise it's like a deliveries and shipping van loading place. So the guy probably saw us all masked up and thought we were trying to get into the yard, as in the delivery place to thieve things.
Steal stuff. Yeah.
Anyway, we didn't know that at the time. So we're just running, and then, like, where are we running to? So we're running, and then it's 3-spike fence. And we're like, what the fuck? How the fuck are we going to get through this? We haven't popped the fence. We haven't done anything with it. So we're talking, the 3-spike fences that are those big, long poles with the spikes. You can't climb it because you'll impale yourself, although people do.
Yeah, like right. Yeah.
Anyway, thankfully, some legend, thanks to whoever did this, had already popped it at an earlier date. Boom. Then we found a hole on the way through. Boom. Okay. Shit. Another set of 3. So they'd like double fenced this spot. Again, someone had popped the fence. Great. No, actually, no. So we went through the first set, and then I was like, I need to go and get the car, and I'm going to bring it round. So everyone then hid in an old, disused train. I don't know. It's like an old building that was part of that. I then had to go through the fence, but it was like the middle of winter, and they're obviously going to be looking for 4 people. Because I was assuming they would have called the police to that yard saying someone's trying to break in. All just guessing this. Everyone else is like, well, you go and get the car and bring it round. And I'm like, all right. So I took my jacket off. It's middle of winter. I took my jacket off, T-shirt. I was probably actually steaming with heat.
Yeah, nothing sus.
Go through the fence where there's the hole onto the street and start walking. And then I'm there, and there's like, I'm walking back to the car, which is parked right next to the fucking train. Ridiculous place to park, right next to where the police are probably being called to. Police cars are like coming past. One of them wise down the way. Have you seen 4 guys running? I was like, no, I haven't. They're like, where are you going? I was like, I'm going to try and get the last train home. They were like, all right, cool. Drove off. Another car's coming the other way. So they're looking for 4 people.
And you're wearing a T-shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing sus about that.
No.
Steaming, wearing a T-shirt.
Well, I've got nothing.
Have you been running? No.
No, mate. No.
Have you seen 4 guys? No.
No, I haven't. Where do you think they went? That way. Anyway, get to the car, and I was just thinking the whole time. I felt like I was going to get near the car or get to the car, and then I'm just going to see headlights, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And then in the boot, there's loads of paint because we haven't taken all the paint in. So I start the car, back it out of the space,
go back to the crime.
Police cars coming past, and then they just kind of like looked, and I just went like that, and they went. Bear in mind, they would have thought probably, didn't that guy just say he's getting the train home?
Yeah.
Anyway, drive off, get to pass. So I've come onto the main road, gone right, had to go down, turn around, come back, and I called them. I was like, I'm there now. So they come scurrying out of this disused building through the fence, all like bags of paint. One of them still wearing his fucking mask. Get into the car, We go to drive off, and then boom, fucking blue lights behind us. I was like, fuck.
Fuck.
I was like, fuck, we're gonna get pulled over here.
High
And
speed chase or what? Come on, make the story better.
well, no, it doesn't go that far. But okay, so I pull over, and I'm just like, oh fuck. Goes past us, and it's a fucking
Oh,
ambulance.
what? Oh, true.
So I just
Fuck
do it.
yeah.
Did a U-turn and just got on the motorway, and we got away.
Fuck. I had a similar story like that. I had an uh, old, and we were just at the pub drinking and stuff, and the boys were like, "Oh, let's go do like a dead train kind of thing." And I had
That'll be
like
chill.
too many people in the actual car, and then had like three cunts in the boot. And then we drove to the spot, and then as we're like driving away to get ready for it, cops pull up right next to us, and they're like, "Wind down your window." I wind down the window, and they're like, "Do you realize you just went through a stop sign?" And I was like, "Oh no, sorry, man. I'm so sorry. Yeah, sorry." And she goes, "All right, just be careful, okay?" And then we just drove. Like, I got fucking 10 cunts in my car, full of paint, like ready to go rock this spot, but. Yeah, some cars are just like, imagine if they knew what was in the car.
Well, one thing I had definitely learned at a younger age was because I would hear my dad and my stepmom talking about their work as coppers,
Yeah,
and I think I clocked quite early on that a lot of the pulling, like when you get pulled over, when you search people, it was a lot about what the person, how they dressed, also how
yeah,
they acted to the
yeah, how they
police.
talk to you. Yeah,
If you're like, "What the fuck are you pulling me over for, you stupid
yeah,
cunt?" It's like, right,
what a
we're
good
going to make
idea.
your life hell.
Yeah,
Um, and I
yeah,
had been pulled over quite a few times because I was heavily into
same.
smoking weed and dealing weed as well, like hash and skunk and stuff. And I
Yeah,
always found that
if you're nice.
if I was polite and friendly and say, "Oh, I'm really sorry, I didn't realize," not like, "Oh, fuck you, you fucking pigs," or that, "Yeah, I'm going to look tough
Yeah,
in front of my mates." Um, Also, a lot of them, because he was in the local area, would go, "Hey, isn't your dad blah blah blah?" I was like, "Yeah," and they goes, "Oh, I remember you when you were a kid. How's your dad doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's good. Yeah, great. Yeah, great." And they're like, "Yeah, just be careful." I've got like a cigarette packet with like 3/8 of skunk that's fallen down from my
100 cans of
waistband.
paint in the boot.
Yeah, I did actually get pulled once right by the local train yard. We were going to paint the yard, and the boot was full of paint. Literally got pulled over next to the yard, and the copper leans in. He goes, looks at my license. He goes, says my name. He goes, "Didn't I arrest you for doing graffiti?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think you did actually." He goes, "You still doing that?" I was like, "Nah, I'm not doing that shit anymore." And he
No,
goes, "All right, have a good night, lads.
yeah,
Just checking. See you, bye." We were like, "We're not going to go do that now."
fuck, that is so funny, man. Fucking hell. Did you have any it's a bit of a grim topic to jump into, but did you have
Yeah.
any mates that passed away like on the tracks, or you like hear of anyone or anyone close to you, or
Um,
not really?
Not really any mates who passed away. Quite a few people that have been very near misses or been quite severely injured.
Yeah,
Again, it's not really a mate, but someone I kind of painted. I think I painted with him once. But in the UK, you've got the third rail, so really,
yeah.
really
Gonna ask
electric
you about that.
rails.
Yeah,
And again, it's second-hand information, but when it rains, so we again, it's England. Rains all the fucking time.
yeah.
If you don't paint when it rains, you never paint. Um,
You're not a
but
writer.
rare, you're not a writer, yeah. But
Yeah,
how I didn't
get
realize this when it's raining, sometimes the electricity in the third rail. So we're not talking like a little, talking like I don't know,
yeah.
40,000, 60,000 volts or something. So you will fucking just fry to death. Um, and how when it rains, if you get near it, the electricity can jump and grab you and drag you onto the rail.
Oh, no way.
So I did know someone that got pulled out, and thankfully he was then with someone who didn't think stupidly, just got a plank of wood and pushed him off the rail. Because if you touch the person, then you're getting
Yeah,
electrocuted
you're
as
fucked
well.
too. So
Um,
what's under the like, so you got the rails, like in Sydney we have like the rails and then the rocks.
yeah,
What's under the rails? Is it
same
just
thing,
concrete or?
same thing.
Oh, it's the same?
Yeah,
Okay.
in most
So
places,
are the rocks like when it rains, does the rocks like conduct that energy too, and then if you touch a rock it'll go, or it's
I
just the
don't
rail?
know. I think it's because of the liquid. It's the electricity is the charge can because electricity is
moisture.
trying to find the quickest way to. I mean, I'm not very good. I don't know this shit,
Wow.
but I think it just can jump and drag you onto the rail. There's
Wow.
a lot of writers who have died in the UK or been seriously injured due to electric
Wow.
stuff. Because I got super confident with just like hopping it. So
Yeah.
because you've got it on the commuters, it's different. London Underground, it's right in the middle. So you got
Okay.
normal rail, normal rail, and then right in the middle is the third rail. But when you're
Okay.
running, like the amount of people that have like run and got shocked off it, or like got their foot stuck, or then it's a really dangerous place to be in
That's what
general.
I've always wondered about, like, the New York, subway line, 'cause
Yeah,
it's the same thing, or is it the same thing, or is it's like
yeah,
one rail is or
yeah.
is it
So I
it's
was
the
going to
3rd
say
rail,
the
right?
commuters, it's like normal rail, and then you normally have something running in with wood on either side. That's the third rail, so that's powering the trains
Uh,
because you don't have the overhead. But if you touch it, you're going to fry yourself.
yeah. I'd
It's
fucking
so
I'd never
dangerous, mate.
fuck that, I wouldn't even bother.
That's what
Uh,
worries me about doing roller pieces in Sydney or Melbourne. Like, what about if you step back and you don't take notice, and then you just
yeah.
like, I know that's you could you then
You're
getting
holding a metal
fried.
pole.
Yeah, holding a metal pole, touching an
Yeah.
electrical wire, which, mate, because I used to work on a burns unit for my job,
Ooh,
and there was so
fuck.
many people who it's not just like you get a little shock, you get actually fried. Your skin will fry. Your whole body can be completely fried and burned.
Yeah, I've
So,
seen too many videos of that on, Instagram.
oh, it's
Being
horrible,
chopped.
mate. Horrible.
Fucking hell.
But yeah,
But yeah, speaking about jobs, what was your, like, first job that you can remember?
my first job was working in a supermarket called Sainsbury's.
Ooh, what's that, like Woolies or
Imagine so
like an IGA, like a smaller one?
no, like in the UK, you've got really big shopping centres, not shopping centres,
Go
supermarkets. So you've got Sainsbury's, Tesco, Asda, Sainsbury's, Tesco, Asda, Waitrose. And when we're talking about big, like the really big Woolies that you get here, Woolworths, which is
yeah,
interesting because Woolworths was also a brand and or company in the UK, but wasn't a supermarket. Same name,
yeah,
different thing. Doesn't exist
yeah,
anymore. And supermarkets in the UK are fucking huge. Like
yeah, okay.
the ones here are tiny in comparison.
Like a Costco pretty much.
Yeah, probably that big. Not as
Costco's huge.
cheap, but Sainsbury's, and
Yeah.
I was earning like £3.25 an hour. It's like
Wow.
$7 an
Fuck,
hour at the age of 16. But my family, it was very much about both my parents worked.
just work.
It was just like you just go and work. You don't. I didn't
Yeah.
even know like the equivalent of Centrelink, or it's called the
Yeah, no.
Dole in England. I didn't even know that was a thing until I was in my
Yeah,
late
same.
mid-20s because
I
I
tried
was
to get on it. I tried to get on it when I went to TAFE, and yeah, I was like, I wish I knew this before when I was going out bendering and stuff, but
no, I
I was always taught to go to work, so I've always been, yeah, like, even when my parents were, didn't know what to do with me, they'd just take me into their work, and then I'd start working with them, so I was always brought up like that.
so
So I
yeah. Then
never
I
really
I
that.
worked there, and then I just worked in supermarkets pretty much till I was in my
And then where'd you
mid
go after
twenties.
that? Obviously, you studied or something, I
No,
don't know.
I didn't. No, I
You
just did. I did school. So in school in England, you finish, or the UK, you finish high school at 16, and then you do 2 years of what's called college, which is like
oh, so it's like America.
no, the US high school you finish at 18 in the US,
Oh, okay.
but they call college is what we'd call university.
Ah,
But
right.
I was doing college, so that's how you get your qualifications to then go on to university.
Yeah,
Anyway, and I was like, why the fuck would I go to uni? Yeah, I can just like
yeah,
work and like skate and smoke skunk and do graffiti. Why the fuck would I go to university?
yeah,
Idiots. Idiots. Why would you do that? Fucking idiots.
yeah,
You do whatever. I think the worst time in a young, especially male life, to give them basically absolute freedom is at the age of 16.
yeah. That's
To
wild.
go, oh,
That's so wild.
you've been kept in school and forced to learn for the last like 12 years. we're now going to let you just do whatever you want when you're
Yeah.
16.
Right.
Terrible idea. Just like, yeah, fuck learning. Yeah, I'll just stay working at the supermarket for the next 50 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
that
so how so what did you do after? Yeah, I don't know. I know what you do now, but like how
yeah.
so you just went from supermarkets to what? You just now you
Supermarkets. Then I moved to Bristol, which
that
was a
was it?
different city. Bristol, which is in
Yeah.
the west of England. That was very influential. That's way more of like smaller city than London, much smaller city than London. But there's a graph scene that's been going like 20, 30 years. It's way more chilled. You have a lot of people coming from different parts of the UK to live there. It's way more arty, way less like stampy
Wait,
on
let's
the
stabby.
on way less stampy on the heady sort of stuff.
I like it. Yeah.
And you could just pedal around, go to different. And then I got heavily into drugs,
Yeah.
which I had been probably since 14, 15. And then my life
Mm.
kind of just went on a bit of a wobble because I got heavily into doing drugs. Thankfully, never like
Yeah.
heroin or crack cocaine or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, just bouncing from jobs that weren't really that good, like life insurance sales. I was doing that via phone.
Oh, okay.
Working.
You like that or not?
Well,
You
I
can talk a
guess
lot of shit, so I'd say you'd be pretty good at that.
yeah, but that's true. I was pretty good at it. But as soon as
I
someone said I
reckon you'd
don't,
be fucking
as
good at
soon
that.
as someone said I didn't, they didn't want it, I'd go, all right, bye.
Fuck you.
No, I wouldn't say fuck you. I'd be like, yeah, no worries, all right, cheers.
Next call.
And they're like, that's not how you do sales. You basically have to force them. I'm like, I don't want to force someone to buy something. They're like, you're
Yeah.
not, you can't do sales then. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit. But because I'm such a blagger, I managed to stay in that job for like 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
hitting none of the targets at all. Because I just
You just stay.
I just pretended I was really motivated and I wanted to learn. And I just spent it all on cocaine, ketamine, MDMA,
Of course.
and benzos, yeah, and alcohol.
And then after that, how'd you get into the space where you're at now?
I got sick of doing shit jobs, and then I just kind of got to my mid to late 20s and thought I need to do something better. I quite like helping people. I've got quite a nice soul, and
You do. You do.
did
Yeah, you
previously.
still do, mate. You helped me out with this, man. If I didn't have
Yeah.
you to help me out with this, I wouldn't be fucking doing it. I know if you're torturing me by doing this, but you did help me out a lot. So, man, I really appreciate it. So,
That's good.
but
And
yeah,
then
tell
yeah,
me how you got into the space where you're at now. Because what do you do now?
occupational therapy.
Yeah, wow.
So I was dating someone for about 3 or 4 years, and she just started studying occupational therapy. And she kind of gave me a synopsis of what it was. She was like, "Oh, it's basically like doing activities and stuff with people to help them improve their physical and mental health." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds all right. That sounds way better than trying to force old grannies into buying life support,
Yeah,
life
giving back
insurance."
to the community instead of fucking draining of them of all their life existence.
Yeah, sign up to this, sign up to that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then yeah, got into doing that and then had to go to college again at the age of like 28, 29, or no,
In the
26,
UK or
27.
in Australia?
Yeah, in the UK, and
Yeah,
had to um yeah, just had to go and do like what we call like an access course because I didn't have the qualifications to go onto the university course for occupational therapy. And I just had to start studying again. And whilst I was doing that, I did support work. So I did support work with people with like mental health problems, physical health issues, intellectual disability, and stuff like that. And yeah, then had two near death experiences with drug and alcohol problems, but managed to
yeah.
get all the way through it, get to uni, did uni for 3 years, and then popped out the other end and then moved here. So yeah, it's
You had an overdose or something, or how?
first time has had a really bad brain injury because I just
Oh, what was that?
got my head kicked in and I was really heavily
Really?
intoxicated. So I was in a brain injury ward for like two
Wow.
weeks. Didn't know who I was, where I was. Kept trying to escape. Kept like calling people and telling them to come and rescue me because I've been kidnapped. So if you imagine like the when people have
Serious.
like dementia and stuff and they get really confused where they are, they don't know where they
Yeah.
are. Basically, I had like brain injury induced kind of temporary dementia. Then I
Wow.
recovered
How long
from that.
how long did that take to get through that
I
before
was
you
in
started, like, remembering who you were and
To remember who I was took about 3 weeks.
Fuck.
So it was bad. I mean, they told my ex-girlfriend, who I lived with at the time, that I was going to be like disabled for life because brain injuries. I don't think people get this. Like brain injuries. That's why I say to anyone, wear a fucking helmet if you're using a bike or a motorbike.
Yeah.
Don't
No risk.
think, oh, I'm gonna. And I know it's not the person themselves, but like when you're fighting someone, don't hit them with a bat or something in the head. Like you don't care at the time, but you can fuck someone's life up for the rest of your life. Like
Oh yeah, 100%.
acquired brain injuries can really mess people up for their entire life. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I did that, which was crap. But then I started my occupational therapy course. So even though at the time I was like, this is really difficult, I think it was actually a good thing to do because it like forced me to learn. Because then you can relearn. That's the thing. You can rehabilitate people
Mm.
very much
The
so.
brain's a funny thing. You can keep learning,
Yeah,
keep building.
well, your brain has plasticity. Your brain, body, and mind has what we call plasticity until the day you die. So
Yeah.
it's a bit like I work with a lot of people now to improve their balance, flexibility, and strength. Because we all think old people are just all frail and like can't move and stuff like that. If they start doing what's called resistance training or strength training, even if it's very mild, or like
Yeah.
flexibility stuff, they can start walking again. They can start moving
Yeah.
again. They can start doing things and be more on balance. Anyway, back to myself. So I did that and then kind of stopped drinking, stopped doing drugs because it was like, oh, I nearly died. And then
Yeah. Pretty good idea. Yeah.
3 4 years later, yeah, probably a good idea. 3 or 4 years later, I had gone out. I'd like split out with my ex missus and got slipped back into the heavy drug and alcohol problems. And we'd been buying shit off fucking Silk Road. So we were buying like PCP and crack and meth, as you do.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it got pretty bad by that point.
It
And
sounds.
and the guy I was living with, who's also my landlord, he was just like, "Yeah, there's this shit called like fentanyl. And it seems to be the most.
Oh my god.
It seems to be the most like popular
Potent.
thing on there." We were like, fentanyl? And he goes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Bought it. Anyway, we went out on a 2-day bender. I'd gone back to the house. I pulled it out of the drawer and did a fucking line of fentanyl
Fuck.
and died.
He actually died.
Thankfully, my mate walked past my room and he like knocked on the door, no response, opened the door. I'm just like on the floor, blue,
Fuck.
not breathing. So he comes in, legend, shout out to Jess Farmer, previous guest on the
Yeah.
podcast. Did CPR, called an ambulance. Everyone else is so fucked. They're all like, "Oh, it's funny," and he's like, "No, he can't fucking breathe. He's overdosed."
Yeah.
And then I wake up on the stretcher. They've done the full like full Pulp Fiction to me twice,
No way.
and yeah, and then ended up in the hospital. And they thought I'd like done it on purpose. So they put me on suicide watch, but
Fuck.
that was
So you're
good.
locked up in a cushioned room for a bit.
I think they quickly realised I hadn't done it on purpose. But that
Yeah.
was yeah. So that's the things that I had drug and alcohol problems with two near-death experiences for a long time, probably since early teenage years, and that's why I try and not
Try and
do
stay
drugs
away
and
from them.
alcohol. But
Yeah.
it's hard to kill old habits. That's why I have so
Yeah.
much respect for people that go, the ones that go fully clean
Oh
forever.
man. Yeah.
And I'm like,
Unbelievable.
mate, the discipline that takes
Yeah.
to do that. The only thing is, there's then the ones that then get really evangelical about it and start
Yeah.
lecturing you about. It's like ex-smokers
Oh
who
yeah.
got people that smoke. It's like, fuck off. I get it,
Yeah.
but
Thanks, buddy. Yeah.
or they find Jesus. So
Oh yeah. Those ones are pretty crazy too. But what do you I don't know if you've seen any of the recent podcasts of AI creators and like the CEOs of AI. Does that What do you think about all that stuff? Because I've been fucking geeking out on it at the moment, and I feel like the world's gonna end.
um,
Like I
I
don't know, because it's gonna take away a lot of jobs. I mean, all the anything to do with tech and phone calls and stuff like that, it's all gonna go. I'm fucking heaps worried about it. Like, I think the only jobs that are gonna be around is like tradies and stuff. Like, what do
well,
you think about? Obviously, your job's a bit more personal, where you can't really just talk to a fucking computer and have your problems dealt with. You need that personal contact, right? So, what do you think about AI taking over some genres of work?
I think if it's done I think it's done in a way that it means that the government then make sure that people can then have meaningful things to do. Because the thing is, most of us hate our jobs at certain points, but it gives
Yeah,
routine, structure, meaning. Obviously, we get money out of it. We get purpose. It's part of our identity. It's like social. It's like work is really, really important,
yeah,
not just because it's earning money, but all the other components. So I think about it in an occupational therapy sort of way. So that's looking at what we do, even though people think occupation means work. It just means anything that occupies your time. But that is
yeah.
obviously work as well, work roles. So having
Being around other
purpose,
people,
yeah.
talking to people. If you sit at home, you're doing nothing. You're gonna die because you don't have human contact.
Well,
That's what I'm worried. That's what I'm worried about this stuff.
there is a lot of evidence that when people retire, that's actually when there's like what we call cognitive function downfall. Yeah, physical, because you're just not doing anything.
Yeah,
I think it could be amazing for my profession because the government might realize, hang on, what do we need to keep people like fit and healthy? Maybe people that work on occupying your time with meaningful activities and tasks to give your life purpose. Oh fuck, that's what occupational therapists do. So for
yeah.
me, that's
You're
why
sweet.
I've been investing in AI everywhere just so I can make more money. No, I haven't really. It could actually it could, it could act, I want to really fuck up everyone's lives so
Yeah.
I want to invest in loads of drug and alcohol companies and guns so I can fuck up people's mental health to do therapy with them. Um, no, I think if the government and the countries where it's happening, I think Australia is probably going to be in a better spot because the other thing
Mm,
is that there's all this talk about taking manufacturing from abroad. Well, in the US, I saw this thing and they're like, we're going to take it from China, but then we're going to make it all automated robots doing it. It's
yeah,
like,
that
yeah,
doesn't
but
make sense. That doesn't make sense.
I'll be honest, in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, if can I just get paid and just sit at home and do fuck all?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that was basically I didn't ever access the free. What's it called? Not layaway. What was it called during COVID when you got paid for not working?
Oh yeah, I took full advantage of that.
I should have. I just didn't. I just didn't think about it. I've got a fucking stronger
Yeah.
work ethic, mate. Uh,
Well, I had to because I
no, I
couldn't
know
go to
you
work.
did. I know. I'm kidding. I'm one of those pricks that can just work remotely. Um,
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's just yeah. I think you're sweet. It's just I just feel bad for people that work in banks and stuff like that. Where
what
they
I was going to say is I think that if, and I doubt this is going to happen because in the US they're talking about taking all these jobs away. But it was a Joe Rogan. I know we both listened to Joe Rogan. The Bernie Sanders one. I don't always agree with Bernie Sanders, but
mm,
I do like his mindset that they were talking about. The government needs to then sort out purpose and meaning, and not just looking at the profit margin because
yeah.
you know,
But that's not going to work, right? Because that's all big companies want. They just
yeah,
want to make
exactly.
more and
They
more
don't give a
money.
shit.
They can't just be sweet with like, hey, we're earning billions of dollars. Let's just stop here. It's all the shareholders and stuff like that.
Well,
So it's like
considering that industries
they're
will
never going to
be,
stop. Even listening to these AI CEOs and stuff, they don't realize the damage that they're going to cause. Like even I don't know if you listen to that recent one I sent you. Um, he was like, "Well, if you're not involved in AI, sorry." It's like, man, you're evil. You can't do that to people. Like, this,
well, the thing
like,
is,
it's
the thing is,
unbelievable,
like
man.
to think that companies won't just move manufacturing to a different country to save money. Oh no, that's what they've done across the world. But then
Yeah,
if you say to people, well, you'll need to pay 20% more for the price of your TV, they're like, fuck off. I'm not doing
yeah,
that. But then the
yeah,
next
yeah.
thing they're going, oh, stop giving Aussie jobs away or British jobs away to China. It's like, are you willing to pay more for your iPhone?
No,
Oh,
they're
no.
not.
No,
They're not. We're in
no.
a throwaway generation right now where, like, I don't know, when I grew up, you'd have like you'd have your lounge for a little bit, and then you're like, all right, I'll just sell it on like Gumtree or whatever,
Yeah.
and then people would actually buy it. But now people are just buying like fantastic furniture shit. Buy it, you're done with it, throw it out, and then there's more rubbish. There's just rubbish everywhere. Everything's throwaway, and everything's so cheap and easy to buy. It just fucks everything up. Like I
Well,
don't know.
but
It's
to answer your actual question about what I think about AI, I think there's going to be a lot of benefits to it. I'm already finding benefits work-wise to save a bit of time, but
oh,
so
of
many
course,
professions are just going to be decimated. For example,
yeah.
graphic design. You don't need graphic designers anymore, really. I just
Yeah,
go, oh,
my sister lost her job. It's already done.
that's
Hers
brutal.
is gone. She was a online marketer, and yeah, she's already doing something else to try and do that. But the job that she's going for at the moment is going to be taken over again. So it's like you don't need doctors, you don't need lawyers, you don't need even surgeons. Eventually, they'll have robots to do the surgeries for you, and they'll do it better than humans will. So I'm just worried that like everything's going to be gone except for I don't know painting,
Well, there we go.
painting, plumbing. I don't know. Yeah, anything that's got to do with getting inside like a house and doing physical work. Even your work is like more personal stuff, artistic work. People are not going to pay for a machine. Like you're not going to pay for a machine to paint your artwork. You want that human interaction, the brushstrokes, the that personal connection with
But
an artwork. That's why lots of rich people buy artworks because it's a personal thing. But I'm just worried about a lot of people are going to be out of work, and then the government's going to be like, well, let's bring universal income into it, and then a lot of people are just going to take that and just sit there and just do nothing, and they're not going to be able to earn more money, and it's going to fuck everything up, man.
it
I'm
is
just
also a
worried
lot
about
of
that.
control, then, isn't it? Because then you can
Yeah,
say
because then if you do something
yeah.
wrong, then the government can be like, "Oh, I'm taking your money away. Sorry, mate.
If you
Whoops."
go on a protest and we don't agree with that protest, we're going to
Yeah, your
freeze
money's
your
gone.
universal credit, like they did in Canada during the
Yeah,
truck convoy thing, where they froze people's bank
yeah.
accounts.
I've noticed also with that. I don't know if you listened to. Oh, it was some. I don't know some chick that she's an investor, and she's invested most of her money into Tesla because Tesla is eventually going like there's a lot of push for electronic cars at the moment,
Yeah,
and China's getting a lot involved in that as well. Like I know Australia's got about I think there's about 8 new companies coming here, um, and I think the thing is Telstra, not Telstra,
Tesla.
Tesla.
Yeah,
Tes-
same thing.
Tesla is they're pushing for a so when you drive your Tesla car and then you want to go on holidays, eventually you can just when you go on holidays you can use your Tesla as a cab. So when you're going away, you can still earn money, and your car can actually drive people to where they want to because it's automatic, right? You
Yeah,
can make money off that. But like what happens if you do something wrong? These electric cars, they have that, it's like a software where I think it's not called ANCAP, it's called something else, where they can just cut off your car and just stop it from running if you've done something wrong. Whereas petrol
yeah.
cars, you can just drive forever, it doesn't matter, no one's controlling your car. They do have CPU in them, but they can't stop your car from running. But all of these electric cars they're bringing out have a system where they can stop your car. So I
I've
feel
got a
like,
Tesla, so I feel like I'm getting mugged
do ya?
off already. Yeah.
Well,
I
be
was gonna.
careful with this podcast, mate. Don't say anything wrong.
Yeah, I
They
know.
might take
Shit. Why do you think
yeah.
I'm covering
But,
my
yeah,
face?
I'm just worried about all that stuff, man, it's just like, the way
Well,
we're going at the moment, technology is gonna take over everything, and then it's like, you have to be submissive to the government, otherwise you're going to be fucked.
the only thing is that I think it's human nature to be scared of like how things will change, and
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that I'm not saying that their opinions aren't valid. There's a lot of people that like to fearmonger and say it's
that's
all going
me.
to be fucking terrible. Yeah, that's what this
Me at
podcast
the
is
moment.
all about. Um, but I guess it's this whole premise of like the 1950s and 60s. It'd be like this is what the future will be like. Robots will be doing
Mm,
everything, and you just get to have fun and have leisure. Well, actually, what technology has done is it's changed people's expectations. So a lot of people that work remotely or work in jobs where you need to use email or video conference calls or whatever, you're just
has
expected
made
to
it easier.
fucking work more. It's not.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know, and it's also one of the biggest technological revolutions ever, artificial
It is.
intelligence. Because the internet, we've been living in the technological revolution. There's the industrial revolution,
Yeah, and
and there was a bunch of people called the Luddites in the UK who just went and smashed all the machines. So they were
okay.
they were the early version of John Connor and his lot. I think the other thing is people keep going, "Oh my god, it's going to be like Terminator and it's going to exterminate us," and it's like
That's me.
we've been at threat of exterminating ourselves for like since the 1940s.
Yeah, but
Really,
this is a different, it's a different beast with, AI because all the other machines that we've had couldn't learn. So the industrial revolution was like all machines, but humans had to operate it. Whereas now
I'm
it's
talking about
AI.
humans, though, mate. We've had access to thermonuclear weapons since the 1940s and been like,
Yeah,
oh, I just misinterpreted something on a radar. I'm going to launch a missile.
yeah. I don't know.
What I'm looking for is I want universal credit, but
Yeah.
good amounts, and then I can just go and paint and go to the gym. If I can just do
Oh,
that,
that's what I want too. Wouldn't that be the dream?
I can just paint, go to the gym. That's the thing is, I'm just hoping that's what happens. Like work is like erased, and then yeah, or they'll then make it mandatory that occupational therapists are the only ones who have to stay in work. You're like, fuck.
I think to be honest, me, you, like our jobs, tradies, occupation health and safety,
Yeah,
physio. Um, yeah, I think everything else is just gonna, unfortunately. Mm,
but that's
yeah,
why I think if you live in a country where they believe in, and I think Australia does fit into this, a Scandinavian countries, Sweden, Norway, Greenland, etc. Is that even right? Greenland? Or is that whatever? The Scandinavian ones are all like really good social care systems and stuff that
yeah,
they'll then invest in retraining people or helping people to deal with the change. However, you've got places like the United States who, again, it's a load of different states that call themselves a country. They're so different from one place to another, but
yeah,
also countries where they don't really give a fuck about the rights of the people. It's just profit. They probably won't help that transition. And I think that's where that big thing will be is because the other thing you've got is if we're talking about changing the health of the population, because this is another huge thing, the population of the world is so sick just in general because of lifestyle, because of convenience. I've heard a
mm,
statistic and I haven't got the research paper to back it up, but more people are dying now from obesity related illnesses because obesity brings about 26 health conditions and it's more likely. So cancer, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, etc.
yeah, cool.
More people are dying from those issues than dying from starvation now.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Like more
So
people are working from home. They can get Uber Eats delivered to their house, which is just full of
So I
garbage.
want a robot holding a gun to my head going, run, human, run! This is good for you!
Well, it's
Run!
coming, so you better be ready for it, mate.
But
Even the
yeah,
okay, so let's go into like universal basic income, right? So like how much are you going to get? Is it going to be a standard system? Because like say I've got a mortgage that's like fucking huge, and like my wife is earning so much money, and then it's just gone. Like like there's no amount of money you're going to give me that's going to pay that
well,
mortgage. You know what I
well,
mean? So
let's look
then
at Centrelink at the moment. I think per week
it's
it's
fuck
no,
all. It's nothing.
it's $300 a fortnight.
Yeah, you can't even pay rent for that. So that's what I'm saying. Like they're gonna have to pay you like I don't know. They're gonna have to judge it off what you used to earn, or I don't know. How's that gonna work? You reckon? It's
You have
gonna
to
be too
work
much
for the.
money.
Well, we all have to work for the department that deals with all the claims.
AI,
I
the
know
AI
AI
company.
will be doing that. Or just
Yeah,
be
that's
getting like a
weird.
drone come over and just go do, 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 like scan you up and down, just go and then just goes scum. But the thing is like, will
Yeah,
they then control what you can and can't spend your money on? Because
yeah. Of course, it's already happening now.
we look at the idea of Centrelink. Now, I don't think that people should be given money and then just blow it all on coke and fucking booze. But they've already tried those sorts of things where it's like, well, if you have to do a piss test for a lot of. I don't know if it's the same. I think they were trying to do it here, but in the US, you have to do a
Yeah,
piss
they,
test to get your
they
money.
definitely don't do that because I've seen some cuts on the side of the road that they look like they're under something.
Yeah, and the thing is like,
And they still haven't got a
is that taking away personal choice? If the AI system decides, well, eating steak, the very skewed World Health Organization slash big pharma influenced slash highly palatable processed food influenced slash profit driven medical system slash blah blah blah. It's all code here slash forward slash HTML.
yeah,
Have they decided that red meat's bad for you, which was a really big narrative and still
big
is,
thing
but
back
it's
in the
kind of.
day.
And will it be like, well, you're not allowed to buy red meat
Yeah, well, that's like
because
the
it's bad
Chinese
for you
system,
because
right?
the
That's
AI
all. It's
system has
a point
decided.
system.
Yeah,
So that's eventually what I think the most of the politicians now will be looking into. they'll be running off what China does now with the point system, where if you cross the road, if you cross diagonally and you get done for that, they just instantly see your face on the camera, take your points off, you can't do shit. I think
Black
that's where
Mirror
the world's going at
episode.
the moment. But we've taken a bit of a downward
Right.
spiral of a podcast at the
This
moment.
is
But
but it's a very important
it's happening.
subject because the world is changing, and I've been listening to a lot of Joe Rogan episodes, and I've been loving the idea that it's like the reason why technology is like gone so like evolved so quickly is because the aliens have like either provided it to us or we're reverse engineering UFOs.
Yeah,
But any of those programs, there's one on Netflix. Me and my wife were watching it on Friday, and it's just like it's always the shittest footage. It
yeah,
looks like
yeah,
it's been like changed, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the UFOs have come here and like mutilated loads of cows." Why the fuck would they care about mutilating cows?
yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's
Beef
just
is evil. That's why, and they're going to take your
definitely.
social.
I think the era that we've lived through at the moment is it's the most craziest era
But
compared
also
to.
one of the most safe periods
Oh,
ever in human
100%.
history. And
Mate,
you know,
it's
I
yeah,
grew up being terrified about nuclear war.
yeah,
I literally
yeah, yeah.
couldn't sleep when I was a kid because I was terrified of nuclear war. So I think the thing is that from a mindfulness slash mental health perspective is that, and it's not like just don't worry about it, mate. Best conversation I ever heard. You know, you catch a little bit of a conversation. I'm sure I've heard better ones actually, but a little snippet. Just walking past a couple of tradies in the shopping centre near where I live, just having a coffee, and one of them is looking at the other one and he goes, "Mate, until it happens, just don't fucking worry about it. It's
Yeah,
pointless. I don't see why anyone gets anxious." And I just walked past and I was like, a very wise man. Speaking of philosophical,
yeah.
it is true. It's like if you can be mindful and not worry too much, amazing. But the human nature is we always look at the negative. And the thing is, fearing the future, fearing the unknown. If nuclear war happens tomorrow, I hope I just get one flash and a mash. I don't
Oh,
want
same.
to.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said to you before, man, I'm thinking about building a fucking bunker in my backyard. So all these doomsday preppers they're probably right now. So when you got all these wars going on, which weren't supposed to happen, and then
Well,
it's like, yeah,
Unabomber like tendencies. I
anyway,
I would love to have an underground bunker.
yeah, just in
I
case.
because I saw them in films and stuff when I was a kid, and I was like, yeah, I'd love a nuclear
It
fallout
does look
shelter.
cool.
It's like, yeah, it's cool, but then if you actually the reality
What are
of
you
being
gonna do?
in that, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna live there with your kids, and you've got no life purpose. You're just sitting there eating canned tuna and just being like, "Fuck, when can we go upstairs?" Never. So anyway,
Sounds
let's just
sounds like a dream for me.
let's
Anyway, let's wrap it up. You
yeah
got anything else
yeah
you
let's
want to
wrap
ask?
it up. Fuck, how long we've been? Oh mate, this is 2 hours. This is longer than your podcast. I told you we could do it. We've done it. But
Smashed it.
the last thing I wanted to ask you, if you can, I don't know. You probably I didn't send this to you, but what's the best piece of advice you've ever got, or you can remember of, or any yeah, any
What life
life
advice
advice.
or just graph advice or what?
Best just the best advice in general.
Mm,
Graph, whatever, life, whatever.
probably the best thing I've ever, and it's not just one person told me this, but just like be kind to people, try and be a good human, and try and not think that what you're perceiving is the reality. So, you know, you might be angry at someone, but try and think, why am I angry? Why is this pissing me off? And don't be horrible to people, really. I know it's very vague, but just try and be
No,
kind and
beautiful advice.
understand that even the most evil, horrible people in the world are someone's son, daughter, dad,
Yep.
brother, and a lot of
And they're
people
hurting
need,
too, right?
yeah, and they're really messed up. And even people that are like, I've worked with so many people that have had like physical health, mental health, drug addictions, have been in jail for murder. I've worked with fucking sex offenders, paedophiles. Obviously, not backing up pedos at all, but they're still humans. And it's like, this is sounding weird now. I'm not saying back
Hurt
up,
people, hurt people.
but
That's
just be kind to people. And even if you don't believe in someone's politics or someone's religion or someone's point of view, just don't become a hateful, bitter, nasty person because it's just not good for you physically and mentally. and you
Yeah.
don't want to go to your fucking grave being known as someone who's just a complete cunt.
Yeah. And then you got 2 people at your funeral.
There you go. Just snip it that one bit, and that's the only bit. Just don't be a cunt, yeah.
Yeah. No, I found that out too, man, like, later in life. Yeah.
Because I was
Yeah,
so
I
angry when
was
I
a
was younger.
miserable cunt, just being angry at everybody, and then I just realised, if you're nice to people, they're nice back to you. So, no,
Yeah,
it's a beautiful message, mate. I think we've done pretty well, mate, so I think we might
that's
just
it.
end it here. Wrap it up.
Right.
Everyone follow
Oh
Toydivision.
yeah, Toy Division 2 on
Yeah.
Instagram and
Yeah.
Toy Division Graffiti podcast, because there is another Toy Division podcast.
Yeah,
But
wow, okay.
it's about toys, as in the real
Yeah,
toys.
yeah.
On Spotify, all good podcast platforms, and shout out for having me on this one. Thanks.
Hey, awesome, man. Thank you very much, and,
Cool.
yeah, I just wanna just say thanks a lot for helping me out with this podcast as well, mate. You've been amazing, man. Yeah, I love you, mate. It's awesome. It's so good.
Thanks. I'll wait for the money to
Yeah,
come through.